Greetings and hearty salutations. What I'm painting here is... I'll reveal it as I go along. Ha 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 ha! So you'll have to stick with me if you want to know what I'm painting here. Although the clue will probably be in the thumbnail. Right. So... Oh, I'm using house paints. Just your regular emulsion paint for walls and ceilings. The stuff that you've got half a tin left under the sink or in a shed or whatever. Well, yeah, if you're not going to use it, splattering on your walls, you may as well use it for creating some art. I was mixing it with a little bit of marble dust to create primer. I thought, well, why don't I just use it for a painting? As long as it's something relatively simple, simple black and white, I don't see why I can't use it, you know. Yeah, this paper is actually primed with the same thing mixed with marble dust. Oh, I think you can probably gather what it is here. It's an emu, not an ostrich. Yep, I bet that was your first guess, wasn't it? No, an emu. He's an integral part of my storybook. Yeah, this guy is a big deal. And initially, this was to be drawn on the face of... I don't know if you've ever seen that Metropolis poster, the Metropolis movie poster. The old Fritz Lang masterpiece of a movie. What I wanted to do was do an emu head on that lady robot, but I decided that that probably wouldn't work, so I just changed it to an emu, but he's in a kind of I wouldn't say dystopian, but kind of like a future environment. So that's how this is going to be. I'm masking off areas here so you can get an idea of the working process. It's just a quicker, more concise way of working, filling in areas of the black. I decided to go with just simple black and white for this particular picture because I thought it would fit the style that I'm looking for. I may do my next piece in colour. I've got kind of an idea of something which I'm going to do next. But for these actual pieces, black and white is good, and I do feel that black and white has a very much different feel. I'm talking about black and white film or black and white movies. You got a different mood, and produce a very different mood to colour. Oh, I noticed a lot of modern directors are kind of drowning the colour out of their movies, and I guess they're kind of trying to achieve in a weird way that kind of black and white effect, because if you reduce the colour and you just rely on the tonal qualities of monochrome, you achieve a feel that is very, very different. I really enjoy working in black and white, especially with what I'm doing here. White noise, kind of static black and white effect, and that's what I wanted to try and achieve with this. I think if you show like impressionism, or even it's some expressionist artists utilize that sort of style, where if you leave it slightly to the imagination of the viewer, it kind of relates to them more, or it can do. I think it's important to hint what is there rather than show everything. An element of mystery is important. An element of, yeah, babble. So you can see the paintings developed here. The masking has worked relatively well. I've used a few shapes. I cut out a shape for the Zeppelin up there, which was reused from the other painting that's currently I'm working on at the moment. You've got the kind of Scarface, the world is yours reference there on the Zeppelin. It's got a punk hair though. It's a punk emu. It's a pseudo-punk emu. Like those punk... When everyone started to dress punk, which was completely unpunk because it became a uniform. That's what he is. He's a pseudo-punk. From the dying embers of the punk movement. Well, not movement. From the dying embers of the pump. From the dying embers of the punk era. I won't reveal what this says. This does say something. There's a clue, which is related to my storybook. Held within the binary code. For this, I just printed out 01 onto a piece of card and cut it out with a scalpel, and now I'm using that as a stencil. It seemed the most efficient way to do it. Yeah. Oh, no music. We can't do music. Like I'm going to do an accurate rendition of whatever retro tune I was doing there. It was Seal, wasn't it? And that bald fella. Anyway, swiftly moving on from my vocal talents. This is taking shape rather nicely. I think it's pretty much all that. I think there's a reoccurring character based on Max Headroom that's appearing in my paintings from this storybook, and I'm going to incorporate him into this. As you can see, which was pretty much a straight copy from a very contrasted image. Also printed out on the computer to save time. Oh god. It's impossible to make an art video without doing some Rolf Harris reference or other. I can't help it, it's part of my childhood. Oh god. Maybe I'll try and do some Tony Hart references instead, or Bob Ross. Yes. What did he say? Happy little mistakes. It's the Bob Ross way. Buy my stuff. Buy my palette knives. Or else. I've got military training, don't you know? Bob Ross was in the military before he became an artist. But he didn't know that. Wikipedia told me. Everything you read on Wikipedia is true. Just a few more little touches, and I think this is pretty much there. I think this, yeah, a few more touches. I think this is pretty much there. Beep, 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 beep. As you can see, I've already signed this. I haven't referenced Emu, the what was the guy's name? Children's TV presenter and entertainer. Rod Hull and Emu. Yes. Oh god, my brain isn't working. I went to a funeral today, and I was pallbearing, so I'm a bit like, my brain isn't kicked into painting gear Rod Hull and Emu, part of my childhood. Or it was just like one gag. The emu would attack people. Like he would have like a ventriloquist dummy, but it didn't speak, which was the emu, and it would attack people, and that was it. And he built a career off that, basically. Bless him. You didn't really need much back in the 1980s. You just needed like bad, a crap-looking puppet, and you were away. TV career, the adoration of millions of children across the country. Them were simpler times. Rod Hull. And this is quite worked out relatively successfully. Yeah. There we go. Toodle pip.